So I've gone ahead to charge this battery up. It took around 40 to 45 minutes. So to put the battery in, you need to align these pins with the pins inside the battery on the top surface right there. So you want to ensure this ridge alongside this arrow, the ridge has to lock in here. That's why this lock is there. It locks into this ridge. So you've got to put it this way. You'll hear a click and then you know it's all good to go. So I'm going to close the door and turn it on.
Switching on the camera for the first time will present you with language options. Thereafter, you will have to set your preferred region, date and time format.
Also, the screen is touch and it's very clear. I would say it's very modern looking for cameras. I'll say OK. Connect to the camera to your smartphone, and for that we would need the Canon Connect app, which is here. I've already gone ahead and downloaded it. So let's have a look. So this app will allow you to easily transfer the photos from the camera to the phone without needing a cable. So let's get started. So the first thing you want to do is say OK. So we have to scan this by pressing that. We look for the model. Let's do it over Bluetooth as it's recommended. There we go. Say pair. Say set. And there we go. It's done. So we have been paired with the phone. Say OK. So as you can see, it's ready now to shoot. So right now the lens is off, but yes, we have connected. So as you can see, it immediately knows as the camera lens cap is on. One of the great features about these new Canon cameras, it's become very smart. The lenses, like autofocus and all, should be a lot quicker. So I'm going to go ahead and remove it. And you see it's not in the shooting position because I need to unlock it a bit. And there we go. If we go to the menu, we can see that it's touch. It's a very fluid screen. I'll just leave it on auto for now.
Here is a detailed layout showing the camera's buttons at the top and the rear.
This is the gallery option, info option, on leveling and off. We have an ISO button over here. And change the ISO. You have the different modes over here. So this is the new Smart Scene Intelligent Auto that comes with the Canon EOS R50. It's meant to make content creation a lot easier for the average user, as it does everything automatically. I'm going to actually put the P mode, which stands for just Program AE. You have different shooting options: single shoot, high speed continuous, low speed, a timer option, and so on and so forth. So I'll go back.
And over here we have the lock or magnify button, followed by the autofocus selection button. And this is how zooming in and out looks like for the 18 to 45mm lens.
So starting off with the settings, actually, this scroll wheel, as you can see, if I move it, it's going to scroll between the settings, the subheadings, in a quick and easy manner. Let's check the menu. You can see here that we have different image quality options, from RAW, JPEG, as well as RAW and JPEG. Click RAW, and this is C-RAW. Different image options. I'll just set that for now. In the second section, we have even more options. Flash control. white balance options, automatic and whatnot, daylight, shade, cloudy, tungsten. You have a bunch of various shooting modes, so I'll just leave it on auto. You have lens correction, focus bracketing, you have image stabilization, you can click it on or off, and you have also digital image stabilization. You have touch shutter, so if you just tap this, it should take a photo, but I don't want that. Creative assist. So there's a lot of options here, and there's a lot to learn from this camera. It is a perfect hybrid between auto and manual, giving users the auto option because it has a lot of AI features built into it that make it very useful, and it basically is a point and shoot to minimize color grading and post-production editing. It should make life a lot easier. Now that the camera has been switched on, I'd like to show you the different modes. Let's start with the AI. So as you can see, as we switched, it goes to Scene Intelligent Auto, and scrolling the wheel further, the next one is Hybrid Auto, Special Scene, Creative Filters, Movie Recording, a Manual Exposure Mode, Aperture Priority Mode. So if you want to enhance blurriness or sharpen the images, you'd use this one. A Shutter Priority Mode. Next you have shutter speed and aperture set, so to brighten or darken. And we're back to Scene Intelligent Auto. Now usually use P when you're using the photo mode, but I'd like to show you the video mode. Let's move over to the movie recording mode and the settings. So from the settings, here are the different movie recording sizes. So you have a bunch of different options now from one of Canon's budget cameras. You have the option of 4K 30 FPS standard, 4K 30 FPS light, so this will reduce the file size. As you can see, the difference is with the standard you can record a total of 1 hour 6 minutes for this memory card, and for the light almost double that. So that's the difference between the light and the standard. You'll see that with each of the resolutions and frame rate pairs. So we have here again 4K 24 FPS standard and the same light, Full HD standard at 60 FPS, Full HD light at 60 FPS, Full HD at 30 and at 24 FPS. So the Full HD at 60 FPS will be good for smoother recordings. I'd like to also show you all the different settings in terms of shooting mode. So you have all these various settings. You can increase the high frame rate. You can put HDR on or off. White balance, automatic, custom, time lapse you can do. So image stabilization, right off the bat it's on, and you can also enhance it with digital. I'll leave it as is. So you also have zebra settings. What this will do is it gives you an idea of the exposure levels of the scene, whether it's over or underexposed, so you can tweak the exposure settings for a much better refined photo or video. And you have various autofocus options. If you can see here, the subject to detect, it's much newer. You have a bunch of different options, like such as auto mode, people mode, animals, vehicles, and also if you do not want it to autofocus. So this will be handy for various product shots, and it's lightning quick apparently. Eye detection, if you want the focus to be auto or manual, I'll actually put auto for that. And you have different ways of setting the autofocus. So you have spot, 1 point, expanded area, around the area, flexible, and you have whole area. So I'll just leave it how it was. As you can see, there's a lot of features packed into this tiny little camera. It is a modern type of camera aimed at easing the use of shooting and creating content for almost anyone, especially beginners. So that's why you notice a lot of AI features inbuilt and a lot of modes that are sort of presets, such as, like, for example, this creative filters. You can switch between like a grainy, soft focus, fisheye, water painting, toy camera, and much more. So the idea behind this and many more such features is to enable you to, reduce post-production color grading and alteration of scenes, so that you can get a pretty good and decent, if not excellent, content right there and then that allows you to, publish immediately, and just makes content creation much easier for anyone in general. Now going back to this, there's a lot more options. I'm barely touching the surface here. And please remember to like and subscribe and drop a comment below. It will really help the YouTube algorithm and help push this channel so that more people like you will be able to see such content and get the information that will allow them to make informed decisions. You have Wi-Fi settings, and you can even edit the type of folder you'd want to be saving the files in. You can change the file numbering type, format the CAD right from here, auto rotate, so if you're shooting portrait or landscape, it will automatically adjust and know. So it's very smart that way. You don't really have to tell it much. It is the time. You have the beep, whether you like it on or off. It even has a power saving feature. You can adjust the brightness. I'll just leave it as is. You have battery info. So one thing to note, that if you're picking up this camera, you'd want to get the original LPE17 batteries. What will happen is, if you get the generic ones, your battery percentage will not be displaying on the camera. It will sort of not be able to read it. So it's kind of hit or miss of what your battery percentage will be. So definitely end up picking up the LPE17, because this battery does have a different voltage that not many people are able to notice at first glance. This one is 7.2 volts, but all the generic ones are coming at around 7.4 volts, and that can harm the camera itself in the long run. So I would recommend just paying a bit extra so you have a longer lasting camera, as well as battery life, because the degradation of the battery will not be as significant with the original as opposed to a generic one. I'd like to stress on the fact that this camera is extremely compact, one of the most compact cameras out there for what it can achieve. If you notice that, yes, there has to be some setbacks in this day and age, such as the grip here being a bit more shallow than traditional cameras, but it's still not impossible to grip, and honestly that's something that can easily get used to. I'll pick the compact size over a deeper grip if it means that the camera gets bigger. And just to give you a sort of perspective, the phone I have here is an iPhone 13 mini. Now if you see the dimensions of this camera, it's more or less, even width-wise, less than the length of the camera. So that's just to give you a bit of perspective. on the actual size of this thing, it is extremely compact. I cannot stress further. Now when it comes to the flash, this is extremely satisfying to pull. It has these two ridges over here that enable you to easily open and close it, and it's very satisfying. Now when it comes to the build quality, it is quite a bit of plastic, but that's a good thing, I would say. It helps to make the device quite light, and I think that will go a long way in terms of the robustness of it. If it were metal, it can easily damage. The compactness is just unbelievable. It's so light to hold that I honestly cannot believe that this is a APS-C camera. Here are some photos and videos to show you what this camera is capable of. Note that all these photos are intentionally just put in the AI mode, just so that you can see how it copes. So overall guys, I think this camera is great value for money. It's got a really compact design that's far superior than anything else on the market at the moment in terms of providing you with such features like the artificial intelligence, the very intuitive, user interface, as well as a viewfinder and a flash. Plus this kit lens comes with RFS lenses. They have tremendous autofocus speeds. One of the biggest highlights of this camera is the ease of use. In today's day and age, with AI on the cusp of exploding, let's say, it's here to stay, and this camera defines that. Basically, don't require you to do much input other than select. It's really going to make your shots stand out. For someone who does not want to play around too much with adjusting settings, this will be really useful for such case scenarios. And don't get me wrong, this camera can also have tremendous manual override where all the settings, exposure, ISO, shutter speed, they all can be manually adjusted. It's just your preference. And I like to see that, in today's day and age, to know that the product you're getting is going to, continuously make your life easier. And if you do so happen to need to go back to the manual side of things, you can do so, and that's very reassuring. And it's got an amazing screen that is really futuristic with an amazing viewfinder. You can't beat it, to be honest, at this price range. The likes of the Sony ZV-E10, that camera came out in 2020, 2021. Whilst it's a great camera, its screen is just lacking the intuitiveness. It's very outdated. It does not have a viewfinder. I don't believe it's as lightweight. And also the Nikon Z30, no viewfinder. Yes, it has a decent screen, but it does not have these AI features. Now, the only point of failure, I would say the worrying thing about this is that the recording is capped at 1 hour, which is kind of annoying. And that's at full HD. It goes down to 40-45 minutes at 4K. It is a bit worrisome that they've placed this right in the front of the camera. I would say the most useful feature about this camera is the strength when it comes to the AI features, in addition to its compactness, and give you the ease of mind that as soon as you switch it on, you can just put the mode you want and all the auto features will do everything for you, and you can just point and shoot. That is a lot quicker for, let's say, 80%, 90% of the use cases where you just need to snap a quick photo or you're just not bothered with the manual features. This, I believe, will be a big hit with the mass market, especially those entering in beginner level photography, and I would say beginner to intermediate. You can't beat it, to be honest, at this price range. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.